We start this hour in Ukraine, where Russia has carried out one of the deadliest strikes in months. Ukraine's defence ministry says 51 people have been killed and more than 200 have been injured. It happened in Poltava, a city in the east of the country. Many people are believed to be trapped still under the rubble. The country's defence ministry called it a barbaric strike against an educational establishment. President Zelensky said it was a very difficult day for Ukraine. Well, BBC Verify's Merlin Thomas has been analysing a video of the aftermath.
Here at BBC Verify, we're working hard to analyse and verify footage of the aftermath of the attack. Let me talk you through what we know so far about what happened. The attack was on the city of Poltava in the east of Ukraine. What we know are details shared by Ukrainian President Zelensky, who said a preliminary report suggests the strike was caused by 2 Russian ballistic missiles. We haven't been able to independently verify that, but we do know that chatter first started circulating across social media about the strike at around 9 a.m. UK time. Now, BBC Verify has confirmed the authenticity and location of a number of photos and videos. And in this video we verified, you can see the damage and piles of rubble scattered around the area. And you can see there's this large blown out hole in a building that's about 6 stories high. And in some of the other photos and videos we've been seeing, they're quite graphic, and we've seen what appeared to be dead bodies on the floor. And there are also what appeared to be emergency responders in the photos with stretchers and blankets. At BBC Verify, we'll continue to monitor the footage of the incident and bring you more as soon as we have it.
Well, that was Merlin Thomas. Let's speak live on the programme to Oleksiy Goncharenko, a Ukrainian MP who's joining us. And thank you for your time here. Your reaction to what we've seen earlier today?
Awful. Awful tragedy and barbaric Russian attack. And it looks like the number of victims will rise. So it's one of the deadliest single attack from Russians from the beginning of full-scale invasion. Yeah, just awful. And really all the victims mostly are young people, which is so painful. And also the hospital is damaged. And this is the one more sign that Ukraine needs as much air defense as possible and as soon as possible. And also that we need finally this permission to attack military objects on Russian territory.
Yes.
Because these ballistic missiles, they were launched from Russia, and it's just 2 minutes flight to the city of Poltava, which makes it almost impossible for people to hide in shelters.
I'll talk more about that point in a moment or two, but we have spoken many times through this 2-year war, but you seem genuinely shocked as you're talking to me now. Tell me a little more about Poltava. What exactly was hit today?
One of the institutes and the hospital, but mostly the institute is damaged. And there were both military and civilians there, and hospital is completely civilian object. It's, by the way, Russian sources and Russian official state media already taking responsibility for this and saying that there were 2 Iskander missiles, ballistic missiles from Russia launched from Russian territory.
You mentioned what President Zelensky has been talking about many times in recent days and weeks, and that is he wants a loosening, a change in the rules of what Western weaponry can be used for. You spoke about the missiles being launched from just across the border. He said in the last few minutes that he has spoken to Justin Trudeau from Canada, trying to get him to lobby on his behalf. When you talk to the Americans, what are they saying back to you in terms of not making that decision?
You know everything. They call saying that they try to avoid escalation and all this stuff, which you heard a lot of time. But I can't understand this. If you really want us to win this war, if you're really supporting us, why you are tying our hands? Why we can't use the weaponry we are receiving at most, how we should use it? Why Russia feels itself like in a sanctuary on their own territory, and they are conducting attacks throughout the whole territory of Ukraine, which is especially dangerous for territories closer to Russian border. As I told you, It's just 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes of flight for ballistic missile. It's nothing. It's just you hear air raid signal and you have 2 minutes to run away. You just imagine you're on the 6th floor of some building and you need to run away downstairs. Is it realistic that you can do this in 2 minutes? Just imagine this life and like this several times per day. So something which should be done with this. We can't continue like this. It's just not fair.
We were looking at the damage and you were describing and talking about just the short window of time. And of course, they're still looking for people under that rubble. Does today also demonstrate another truth, which is despite that incursion into Kursk, which caught the Russians by surprise, you still have a real battle on your hands on the eastern front lines, a very, very difficult battle, which could go either way in the coming months?
Absolutely. We have very difficult battle from the first day of this war 10 years ago, and especially from the very first day of this full-scale invasion 2.5 years ago. Russia is a big country with big population, with big resources, with support of all these axis of chaos, North Korea, Iran, the occupied Belarus, and China, who is standing behind all of this. So they have a lot of to fight, and so much is at stake. So it's existential for Ukraine, but it's also existential for international order.
Oleksiy Goncharenko, thank you for taking time to speak to us live there from Odessa.